It's where all the cool kids go. The friendly info will show you around. We reward him with the fresh souls of our customers. Shadows, t-shirts, weather tees, and so much more. Tags on deck, horror shop you will never want to leave. Your friendly info will show you around. We reward him with the fresh souls of our customers. Candles, t-shirts, weather tees, and so much more. Dads on deck, horror shop you will never want to leave. Let's go! Yep. Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another edition of Dick's Picks. We're going to be having a lot of these because Dick Randall produced a heck of a lot of movies, first off. And I noticed I didn't change my, that's just me being picky. I like to have this font a certain way, so permit me to change that. It may not matter to the majority of you whether I change the font or not, but it's mainly for me. But we're going to get to these movies here in just a second. But I do want to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way. I do apologize that this is late yet again. I ended up having to work late yet again and pushed me back on when I got the movies watched. So apologies on that. But let's get this housekeeping stuff out of the way and then we'll talk a little bit about these couple of movies. So we've still got the poll going on for the watch along movies for March 22nd and 23rd. I want to thank those of you that got in there and got your votes in and broke that three-way tie for the Saturday watch along movie, which it seems that Terror at 10 Killer is in the lead. So it looks like most people are going to want to see Terror at 10 Killer, or at least participate in a watch along. And it looks like Pieces is still in the lead for Sunday, the 23rd, but you can still get your votes in until this coming Monday around 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be locking down the polls at that point in time. And if there happens to be another tie, I will have to put the choices in a hat, or if there's a two-way tie, I'll have to flip a coin or something. And I can do that on camera if people prefer. So we got that going on. I'm still doing the nobody's taken me up on it yet, but I'm hoping somebody will soon so we can get this movie roulette started. So if you give a $5 or more super chat during any of my live streams, that includes this one. It would include the cannon fodder. They're all messed up. Any watch alongs I do, anything that's considered a live stream. If you give a $5 or more super chat, you get to pick any movie that you want for me to review. And that means if 5 people come in here and give a $5 or more super chat, 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, eventually I will be reviewing your film on an episode of Movie Roulette. So just keep that in mind. Here's your chance to make Dana watch any movie that you want. Okay. It's guaranteed. If the only reason I wouldn't do it is if I couldn't find a copy of the movie to watch. Okay. That I guess I should put that in there. But that would be the only reason I wouldn't be able to do it. So get your movie choices in for me to review so we can kick this movie roulette off. Okay, so tomorrow night should be another episode of Cannon Fodder. Hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully I should be able to do it at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be talking about another couple of Golden Globus era Cannon films. Thursday night will be another They're All Messed Up. Hopefully I can do that one at 8 o'clock as well. Going to be talking about a couple more slasher films still in the 70s. So we're going to be talking about a couple of those. Friday, there will not be a Friday Foolish because I have to work a late Friday at work. So that's not really conducive to me and Candace having a Friday Foolish at 6 p.m. Eastern Time like we normally like to do. Because this gal's going to have to work till 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I start at 1 and end my day at 7. I don't like late Fridays, but it is what it is. There will be no watch-alongs this weekend. I don't know about a movie munchies. I've been so wiped out. I love doing the movie munchies. I just don't know if it's going to be feasible for me to do that this weekend. But in any event, there should be a soup and jallows. I've decided to do the soup and jallows every other weekend because I was compiling a collection of leftover soup in my refrigerator, and I don't like to waste. But as I'm the only soup eater in the family of 2, I am left with a lot of leftover soup because Steve will not eat it. So, and also I've just been so busy at work lately that, I've been working a lot of overtime to get things done and stuff like that. And so I have to, do these things when I can, when I have the energy to do them. And I know that's not the best way to do things, but hey, I'm still putting content out for you guys and gals. So I hope that y'all enjoy the content that I'm putting out. If you're not and you want to tell me what content you would like to see, I still have the virtual suggestion box of video that you can comment on. You can tell me during these streams, or you can comment on the streams on the replay. You can comment on the videos. Whatever way you choose to let me know what kind of content that you would like to see. And I think that is, well, actually, I've got 2 promotions going on the Deadites on Deck Horror Shop. You saw one of the promos if you were in here a little bit earlier to see that. You can also watch that on the replay on my channel. There are 2 different promos for the Deadites on Deck Horror Shop. Candle Craze 25 is the promo code. If you buy 1 candle, you get 1 free with the Candle Craze 25 promo code. Also, Slasher Spring 25 will get you $10 off your order of $30 or more. So I've got those 2 promotions going on at the Deadites on Deck Horror Shop. Let me go ahead and put the shop link. Oops. That wasn't right. In case any of you are interested in visiting the shop. We've got candles, we got t-shirts, we got blended teas, we've got tumblers, we got tote bags, we got hats, and remember also, I do custom work. There's a handy dandy form on the homepage of the Deadites on Deck shop, and you can let me know what you want. I can put your kids, your grandkids, you and your significant other on your wedding day or on your honeymoon, your pets, whatever you want on hats and t-shirts and coffee mugs and what have you, tote bags. So just keep that in mind. Just because you go to the site and don't see a design that you like, hey, I'm willing to work with you to make a design that you do like. It is a horror shop, but I'm willing to do custom work for people, provided that they are willing to pay me for my services. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with these movies because it is late. Okay, so the first one is, forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, Un Uomo Chiamato Dakota, or A Gunman Called Dakota. Now, this was directed by Mario Sabatini, and it came out in 1972. It actually says it's an hour and 35 minutes long, but the only copy I could find, hey, Hope, the only copy I could find was a television copy, which may have had some stuff cut out of it because this was a spaghetti western. It was considered a spaghetti western. And so some violent content, as many of you know that have seen spaghetti westerns, including some spaghetti westerns that Clint Eastwood was in, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, they are generally violent. Having a lot of people get killed in a lot of different ways in the wild, wild west, basically. So, this one didn't seem to be too bloody, and I think the reason being, and the reason why the version I watched was shorter, at an hour and 16 minutes, was because this was taken from a Toronto television station. But here's the other thing. It was only in Italian, no English dub. I even asked Steve to see if he could find an English dub, and he was not able to find me one. So, guess what, gang? Excuse me. And the only subtitles, the language was in Italian. The subtitles were in Italian. They didn't provide you with any English subtitles. So I had to watch it with those stupid auto-generated subtitles that make absolutely no sense half the time on YouTube. They're virtually useless. I know I've talked about that before. But I made out what I could from this movie. But something I am confused on. The guy that they kept calling Dakota was not the same guy, I don't think, that they said was Dakota on IMDb. They said that, I think the guy's name is Gordon Mitchell, but he appeared to be the bad guy. And the guy that I heard them referring to as Dakota was like a dark-haired guy. The other guy was like a blonde guy, had very strong, manly features and stuff like that. And I thought he was the bad guy because, like, him and his cronies were the ones that were torturing the priest in the town and, killing off a bunch of people. It doesn't matter if this guy like had a gold star, but the guy that, like I said, that I kept seeing the word Dakota come up, or the name Dakota come up, was a dark-haired guy who was trying to save everybody. So I was a little bit confused by that, but it was your basic spaghetti western storyline. The bad guys take over a town. This outsider, who they kept referring to as the foreigner, comes into town and eventually triumphs over the bad guys in the town. So, but it was not a very, in my opinion, it was not a very good, very well made spaghetti western. And maybe because it was taken off of TV, and maybe if I had watched it with, everything in it, um, maybe it wouldn't have been like that. But it just seemed slow. It seemed plotting. And those annoying, auto generated subtitles didn't help. So if anybody runs across a copy of A Gunman Called Dakota, with the English dub or some proper English subtitles instead of that gobbledygook I was looking at, please let me know, because I'd like to try to watch it again and see if my thoughts changed on it. So, as it stands, though, I'm not going to be able to give this one a very high rating. So I'm going to give it 2 deadites out of 5, 2.5 at best. Just not something that, unless somebody could, put out a copy that either had an English dub or some proper English subtitles, uh, I don't see that rating for me ever changing. And I really can't recommend it at this point to anybody. There was one guy on IMDb, I think he was the one that, only one that gave it a review. And he's the same guy that put it on YouTube. And it's listed as rare too, which may be why it's so hard to find like one in an English dub. Maybe there is no English dub. Maybe there are no proper English subtitles for it. But it makes it kind of hard for those of us in the United States, for instance, that English is the only language we know fluently, and we're trying to, make sense of either Italian subtitles or gobbledygook generated by YouTube. So anyway, that is A Gunman Called Dakota. Now, the French sex murders. Let me bring this up. I did just watch it, so I'm fresh on that. And Steve did have a copy of this, but I did not. I didn't end up using his. It is available on Tubi. Hey, I hope you say we got done watching Maxine. Not as good as X. I would probably agree with that, Hope, that Maxine is not. I loved Maxine. But yeah, I mean, I still think, even though I liked Pearl, and I liked Maxine, I enjoyed them both very much. I think X was my favorite, even though a lot of it, you know, was centered around these people making a porno, you know. But, I just like the scares and the shocks and stuff like that better in X. But the French Sex Murders came out in 1972, directed by Ferdinando Marighi. I might be totally mispronouncing that. But it stars Anita Ekberg, Rosalba Neary, Evelyn Kraft. It also has Barbara Boucher in a small part at the beginning. And when I saw Rosalba Neary's name and then I saw Barbara Boucher's name, I was like, well, I bet Steve has this movie, because that's two of the ladies that he really, really likes, in addition to Edwidge Fenech. So this one came out in 1972 as well. And on IMDb, I find this shocking that it didn't get as high a rating as A Gunman Called Dakota. And I'm like, I don't get it. Okay. Maybe somebody saw a different movie than I did. So I like this one much better, even though there was a lot more skin and sexcapades and all that. The one thing I was like, wow, the men are really violent to the women in this movie. Like, you had this guy slapping Barbara Boucher's character around and saying, "You dirty whore," and just, just carrying on. It was like over the top stuff. So, um, but I did like the kills in this one. Because the guy that was slapping Barbara Boucher around, spoiler alert, folks, her character gets killed off very quickly. And the guy that was calling her a dirty whore and slapping her around gets blamed for it. And he's taken to trial and then, sentenced to death, and they're taking him to death row, and he escapes. And he escapes and steals this guy's motorcycle, and he runs into it sort of reminded me, although not as spectacular, of the beheading of the photographer in The Omen, because the guy is on the motorcycle. He doesn't see this truck with this metal sheet hanging out of it. He gets decapitated, and they think, well, he's dead and gone. It was a pretty cool shot. I mean, obvious fake head, but I like that. So then somebody starts killing the people that put almost put that guy to death. I mean, he ended up dying, but not the way they thought he was going to. So these people connected with his trial and putting him behind bars and sending him to death row. And he threatened them before, he died. I'll kill all of you, if you do this to me. But it's obviously not him. But I don't want to tell you who it is, because you guys and gals might be interested in watching this and seeing who the killer actually is. So I like this one a lot. I definitely could see myself going back and watching this one. I mean, it has its flaws, sure. I'm not going to give it a 5 deadites out of 5, but I am going to give it 4 deadites out of 5, which Steve would probably be shocked. He'd be like, wow, you gave it 4 deadites out of 5 when it shows boobies and ass and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because the storyline was enough to keep my interest. The other movie that I talked about tonight, a gunman called Dakota, didn't hold my interest, and it was hard for me to focus on it and all that. So out of the two, the French Sex Murders definitely is the one that I would suggest you watch, the one I preferred. It was set up to me kind of like a giallo, not exactly, but kind of. And so I generally like those types of movies better. Hope you say I talked with David, and he said he would be interested in doing this show with you on a topic or whatever, or on a Monday or Tuesday. That's the only day he's available because of his job. Oh yeah, Hope. I'd love to have David on if he felt comfortable doing that. Um, but would he want to do one of the shows I already have established? Oh, you mean both of you? Oh yeah, heck yeah! I'd love to have both of y'all on. I just thought maybe you weren't interested. Yeah, I'd love to have both of y'all on. That would be cool. Um, Usually I've been taking Mondays off, but if you and David weren't interested in being on one of these that I'm doing, like Tuesday through, would you say Monday or Tuesday? So if y'all wanted to come on one of the next Dick's picks, I'd love to have y'all on. Would you be interested in doing that? I can even tell you what movies I'm going to be covering next. Uh, Hold on just 1 second here. For the Dick's picks, I'll be covering the Snake Fist Fighter from 1973. and The Bull Buster, also from 1973. Let me put those in the chat just so you can. I think the Snake Fist Fighter is like a martial arts movie. Let me put those in there. And if y'all aren't interested in that, I maybe could come up with something for Monday. Um, and we can do that together. But y'all just let me know, or you can let me know, Hope, what y'all decide to do. And if you don't want to be on there this week, this coming week rather, then we could get you in on another week as well. So I'm just really excited because I haven't had anybody. I mean, Hope, you were on for that watch along, and that watch along for Terrifier 3 is doing really good. A lot of people watching that on the replay. A lot of people were interested in it. And for those of you that didn't get to see my friend Poe, see if we can.
Hello, my name is Poe. I am the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck horror shop. Please take my claw and follow me as I show you all of our really cool products.
We'll just play that again, shall we?
Hello, my name is Poe. I am the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck horror shop. Please take my claw and follow me as I show you all of our really cool products.
And that is my friend Poe, who is the official mascot for the Deadites on Deck horror shop now. I hope you say Monday sounds good. Come up with the topic, best and worst horror remakes, or if you can think of something. And I love that. I like Poe too. He's one of my creations. And so I'm working on getting him animated, and sometime he may be, if I can get him animated good enough, maybe he'll be my co-host on one of these. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make some. These will be made to order, mind you, but I'm gonna try to make some plushies of Poe that I'm gonna be selling on the shop. So be on the lookout for that. But I've got to learn some software first before I'm able to do that, because it includes making 3D models and stuff like that. I have to make a 3D model of Poe, and then have to put it into something called Plushify, and it will make the patterns for me. And then I'll have to cut those patterns out of fabric and get them sewed and stuffed and all that. And then we'll see what we've got at that point. But yeah, let me mull that over in my brain, Hope, and I will get back with you on a topic before next Monday. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having you guys on there. But I think that is it for me for this edition of Dick's Picks. Stay tuned tomorrow night, hopefully at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have to see. For Cannon Fodder, where again, I'm going to be talking about a couple. Forgot to bring myself back up. I'll be talking about a couple more Golden Globus era Canon films. So I can probably tell y'all what I'm going to be covering in case somebody watches this or is watching it now and wants to know if they want to tune in. Well, actually, I don't have to look at it there. I can look at it here. We're going to be talking about Seed of Innocence and Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype. And Thursday, for They're All Messed Up, we're going to be talking about Crucible of Terror and the Fifth Chord. So, lots of good stuff hopefully coming up. And with all that being said, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday night, folks. And I'll see everybody next time.